The video you're about to watch is a video of different clips from my one channel, Showdown 1197. But it is also going to have the background of the audiobook of Lessons from the Cage. It's not the complete book, it is only the second chapter. I have another video with the first chapter, so if you enjoyed this one, go check out the other video. And if you enjoy both chapters and you want more, you can always purchase my book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or anywhere. So check it out. You can even get it on Apple Books. So enjoy this video. God bless. Lesson 2. Loss is a learning opportunity. Bible quote, "For a righteous man falls 7 times and rises again, but the wicked stumble in time of calamity." End quote. That's Proverbs 24:16, NASB, 1995. I lost my first 2 cage fights and won my third. I can't lie. Part of me wished I won all 3. But that would have been for my own glory. Truth of the matter is, I wouldn't change any of it, because the learning experience and wisdom I gained from all 3 of my fights, especially the losses, definitely outshined and outlasted the glory than if I had won all 3. Even though I had the skills and ability to beat all of my opponents, I did make mistakes in training, warm up, before my fights, and in the cage, resulting in my losses. What I am grateful for is that I was already in the habit of learning from my failures and always looking how to improve myself. These habits helped me with the process of how to learn from my fights. These losses and my habit to improve oneself helped me become a much better fighter, martial artist, as well as a martial arts instructor and coach. Then years later, God gave me the wisdom of these fight days for life lessons. I have a question for you. What failure or failures have you been through? This question can be in any area of your life. May it be professional, a hobby, academic, or personal. It can be near past or even ancient past. Next question for you. Did you learn anything valuable to improve your ability in that area or to build your character for the best? Too many people focus excessively on winning and not enough focus on the experience. Dale Earnhardt said, "Second place is just the first loser." As Ricky Bobby's dad from the comedy Talladega Nights, said, "If you ain't first, you're last." Okay, all joking aside, sometimes we win and sometimes we lose, but don't forget to learn. I usually learn more from my failures and losses. Losing builds character and puts inside you the desire to do better. If you only win, you wouldn't be searching too hard on how to improve. There is a book written by John Maxwell titled "Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn." It is a good book on learning from losing. I suggest reading books on those who have been successful. They will tell you about their failures and let you know that failure is normal. But the way to overcome failures is to learn from them. If you never learn from a particular loss, failure, or shortcoming, you will most likely keep repeating the same mistake or loss. Adjustment can only be made if you see your errors. Quote, those who profit from adversity possess a spirit of humility and are therefore inclined to make the necessary changes needed to learn from their mistakes, failures, and losses. When we are focused too much on ourselves, we lose perspective. Humility allows us to regain perspective and see the big picture. Humility allows us to let go of perfection and keep trying. End quote. That was John Maxwell. Consider it all joy when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. And let endurance have its perfect result, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. That was James 1, 2, and 4, NASB 1995. The Greek word for perfect is teleos, which also means mature or maturity. There is that old saying, practice makes perfect. I find fault in this because we are never perfect. God is perfect, not us. We are fallible. I like to say practice makes better, and more practice makes mastery. Now, after my study for this book, I may now say practice makes better, and more practice makes maturity. For maturity gains wisdom. We live in a culture that puts shame and fear in losing, which creates dysfunction and stunting of mental, emotional, and spiritual growth. In fact, you will succeed more if you break the fear of failure and reject the defeat of social pressure on failure. I put my wins and losses on YouTube for all to see. No matter what is said in the comments or from my fellow martial artists. Bart Vale, for those who do not know who he is. He was a professional shoot fighting champion who fought in Japan back in the 1990s and now is a 10th degree black belt, that's a Grand Master, in Kempo Karate. He said to me when he watched some of my losses on YouTube, don't put your losses out for all to see. I have the utmost respect for him, and I know he was trying to protect me from harming my brand as a master of Kempo and a YouTuber keeping a sharp reputation as being a good martial artist. But I don't have anything to prove to anyone, but just want to show growth through the wins and losses, the experience. Quote, there is no success without failure and losses. End quote. That's John Maxwell. Quote, failure should be our teacher, not our undertaker. Failure is delay, not defeat. It is a temporary detour, not a dead end. Failure is something we can avoid only by saying nothing, doing nothing, and being nothing. End quote. That's Dennis Waitley. Many inventions would have never made it if the inventor gave up after the first try. But through trials and persistence, they completed and brought products that have improved our way of life. Just like when Thomas Edison was asked about his failures on making the light bulb. He said, I didn't fail. I just found 2,000 ways how not to make a light bulb. I only needed to find one way to make it work. Don't fear failure or do whatever it takes to avoid it. Learn from it and make the adjustments so that you don't keep failing at the same thing. Find a new failure and learn. I may have lost a couple of MMA fights, but I won via experience. And the prize is improvement, knowledge, and wisdom. I have learned from my failures. And the ones I didn't learn from, I will most likely repeat that particular fault until I learn where I have done it wrong and change it. If you lose, the world may title you as a loser. Or if you fail, you may be called a failure. Newsflash, we are all failures and losers, but also winners. Yes, you are a winner. I like to think that when I lose and fail, I am not a failing loser, but a student learning to win. You don't need to be the best at what you are doing, but more important is that you are growing and maturing in what you choose to do. Build character. Sometimes in the building of your character, you will find oneself learning who you are. And that is one of the biggest wins you can conquer in your lifetime. Discovering yourself even through adversity.